Welcome, everybody, to the One Piece with a Lime podcast with your host, Brendan, Devin,
Mr.
and
Bubbles.
Jordy. Fuck you.
This
We
is
use
your
real
regular
names.
scheduled programming from NPR.
Your regular scheduled programming with NPR.
All right, so a small cast today. Two goons decided not to show up.
Yeah, Christian's getting a divorce. Simi is in the hospital. Let's get into the fucking summary. All right, I don't know where to go anymore with this. What the fuck happened to my summary? All right, here it is. Okay. Unless anyone else wants this, I was gonna do it myself.
You're already there.
I'm here. All right. So Dory lives! While our heroes fight baddies and get turned into wax statues, Sanji's busy getting an eternal pose to Alabasta. Usopp, now realizing that wax melts, uses oil and rope to set the whole place in flames. With everyone now free, they easily defeat the Baroque's Works goons and set sail to Alabasta. In the final scenes of Little Garden, we get a small flashback of Dory and Broggy in their prime, once leaders of the great warrior pirates. Turns out their 100-year duel was over who killed a bigger Sea King, as Devin predicted in our last podcast episode. Back to the Mary. Nami falls ill and reveals information about the state of Alabasta. War is drawing close as troops are defecting to the rebel army. Vivi, though distraught, fears that Nami won't survive the journey. Everyone agrees that finding a doctor takes top priority. Just then, they're attacked by a pirate by the name of Wapple and his henchmen. Luffy, not having any of this right now, blasts him away immediately, and they eventually find themselves on an unknown winter island. The residents of the island demand they leave, and shots are fired. Vivi falls to the ground, and we get hit with the classic, "To be continued." Guess we gotta wait till next week. So how do we feel about these? These are some of my favorite episodes. I actually liked every single one of these. These were all pretty much bangers to me.
As soon as they left Little Garden and everything like that, it made me realize how much I actually prefer watching the fight scenes of them fighting random goons than I do of them fighting bosses. Like, they do a lot more. The animation is a lot more lively. While, like, in like the fights, it's like one-hit punchlines. And it's like, when am I going to get the cool-ass scene of Zoro, fighting like 30 guys while running down a fucking sail post? Like,
This fighting sequence was generally really good, regardless of when it took place.
oh no, I agree. Like most of the fights that happened in these slew of episodes were really good in general. But in comparison, if I were to choose between watching a Goon fight and watching him fight Mr. 3, I'm going to pick watching 30 minutes of Mr. Goons getting knocked.
Overall, the boss fights have been sort of underwhelming so far, with the exception of, personally, me, what's his face? The cat man, Kuro. Kuro was probably the most fun fight.
But that's what I mean. It's almost like a failure of like older anime, why the anime's changed as a whole. Because like before, like this was normal, like seeing like the slow motion like punch, like see the impact and you see the blast afterwards. So it's like since we were being spoiled with so much like immersive action nowadays in modern anime, it's almost like going back watching this old stuff. It's like it's hard to care or feel the impact because we're watching so many hit. We're watching like 2 seconds until the hit actually connects. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I mean, I totally hear what you're saying, dude. I agree completely. Although, to be completely fair, too, that initial sequence of them getting the goons off the boat or whatever happened to be the first episode of, I believe, season 3. So the other caveat might be that it happened to like be the introduction to like the next season. So they probably put a little bit of extra budget to it. There's also that to consider. But regardless, no, I agree completely. Like when they're beating up the shit out of the goons, because you know that they're going to like waste them to shit. So they get to do all of their crazy overpowered moves and they're allowed to be overpowered. So you can just watch them lay siege to everybody. When they fight bosses, they have to kind of try to give the audience a sense of like... It feels like
their punches are nerfed.
I feel like it's more so when they're fighting the big baddies. It's like the enemies get just as much or maybe a little less plot armor than the heroes do because they tank as many hits, or they just like they're just completely they don't give a shit about anything. So like somebody takes a Sanji kick and then goes, "Oh, is that all you got?" and then just fucking flips him, and then he's out for like the next 2 episodes because apparently got knocked out or something. Or insert Luffy and that's your punchline here.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's kind of the problem. They have to try to like make their antagonists seem realistically beatable, but also like an interesting challenge to overcome.
They can't One Punch Man it where everybody just dies immediately.
Right, and that's why One Punch Man is kind of a treat because
right.
you know the punchline. He wins.
The punchline is always he's gonna win. It's not about him winning. It's about how does he win.
It's about the characters around him. All right.
Yeah, realistically, yes.
One Punch Man, I think, succeeds not so much because Saitama exists, but because literally all the other characters around him also exist while Saitama exists.
Right. So the island that they ended up in, Snow Island, this is the new arc we're going to be going into now.
I wouldn't consider it an arc. I would just call it the next island, really, because like we're still in the Alabasta arc, right?
So this is what I would propose to you. Think of it kind of like Dragon Ball Z style, where you have like a setting that you would call like an arc, and then you have like an overarching like plot point that you would call a saga.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so this is the Alabasta saga, while this is the Snowball Land Frozen arc.
That's what I would tell you. But, I mean,
Okay.
you can also just call it the Alabasta arc. I don't think anyone's going to stop you. But I consider it like the saga, because similarly to Dragon Ball Z, like when you get to the Cell saga, you had like the pre-Android saga, or the pre-Android arc, then like the 17-18 Android arc, then the Cell early stage arc, then the final like major Cell arc, all culminating into the Cell saga is what anyone would refer to it as, I guess.
So going into order of sequence here, let's start off with the Giants and their send-off to the Goons.
Yes! I have my very first, very important note that I wish Christian was here because...
Was it the Usopp thing?
Yes, it is! Yes, sir! Yes, it is!
Which Usopp thing?
Okay, so, for anyone who happens to be listening since we were in the Usopp arc, they might remember that I told you.
Oh, right.
Usopp has there's a very particular gag with Usopp's character in which what's very funny is all of the lies, for the most part, that he says throughout the series slowly but surely end up becoming reality. And if you will recall, one of the stories that he said to
giant goldfish
that he said to Kaya when she was like in her deathbed or sick or whatever, he was like, "Oh yeah, you'll never hear. It was this giant goldfish whose poop was as big as an island." And I have it here on good authority by my boy Broggy, who just so happens to know that there was a fucking piece of turd that this goldfish shat out that they landed on as an island that was literally called the Nothing at All Island.
Oh my god.
So here we go. The first of many, boys. The first of many. That was the number one thing I wanted to say. So if you have any other notes, I'm good. Please don't let me interrupt you again.
I do have some some notes about those the episodes of Still on Little Garden. Like I did want to talk about like there was like the very beginning of like the first episode. It's like a scene where like Usopp jumps out and he shoots like the little fire whatever thing at Luffy's back and everything, catches him on fire, whatever. But the scene shows Mr. Five pull out his gun and just bam, bam, bam. At that moment, I thought it was... Like, I actually burst out laughing because I was like, what if Usopp just died right there? Like, deadpan just boom! Like, bam, bam, bam! Like, down! And he, like, I'm just sitting there, like, in my head being fucked up.
It's funny you say that. Because... And while we're here, since we're on the theme of Usopp, and, I just got done telling you that all of his lies slowly become true, one of the most important lines had just so happened to have occurred about 2 episodes prior, where Usopp tells Nami, very straight-faced, saying, even if he was to die on a deserted island by himself, as long as he died as a brave warrior of the sea, that would be okay. And that, my friends, makes everyone wonder, when is this motherfucker gonna die?
No, like, seriously, because, like, I'm sitting there, like, as soon as, like, again, he jumps out, it's, like, immediate. Like, number 5 has no chill with pulling the trigger. Like, it's not like there's a surprise. It's, like, almost immediately, as soon as he jumps out of the bush, you just hear bang, bang, bang.
Oh, yeah,
it's like,
for sure.
That was the part that was just, like, he's dead. But then he lands, I'm like, how did he miss?
But you got to remember, if it's not in a flashback, guns are useless.
No, I remember. Trust me, I remember in a fever dream of mine that I had last night that yes, firearms are not real in this universe. But it was just like one of those like moments where like, how funny would it have been if they just killed his character or like wounded his character mortally right there?
Right, just like right here, like Usopp is forever, or at the very least, like maybe gatted out one of his eyes so he only had one eye left or something like that. He had an eye patch for the rest of the series.
That's too real. That's too real, right?
Shit.
Bring it down already. We're in meme island over here.
What do you mean? He's only a marksman. He only needs one eye anyway.
That's not true.
Oh my gosh.
Little do you know, I've thought about all the angles, dude. I've been following Usopp for years. I know everything. Speaking of Usopp, while we're here. No, this is actually really important too. So I'm glad that we got to finish Little Garden because since we're not going to see more Elbaf related topics for a hot second, I figure it's probably fun to point out some of the themes that they had. So the Giants, if it was not clear, are very, very Viking themed. They happen to be very Norse mythology inspired. And even Dory, this was funky. He even said right before they were going to pierce the goldfish that the only thing that their weapons wouldn't be able to pierce was the great bloody snake of Elbaf, which I'm pretty sure is supposed to be... Yeah, it's supposed to be like the Jormungandr of their culture. So that's extremely fun. And then the other fun little tidbit is, so Usopp obviously got extremely infatuated with the Giants and their warrior culture, and he's enthralled at the idea that, you know, these guys are true warriors and he wants to be just like them. He's going to go to Elbaf one day. You remember when I said that Usopp and Yasopp were named off of a guy whose book was called Yasopp's Fables?
Yeah.
Does somebody want to tell me what Elbaf spelled backwards is?
Fable.
Usopp's Elbaf is also Usopp's Fable. The whole point is that Elbaf is supposed to be like an island that is like, you know, almost forgotten about, like in the modern world. There's few islands that for the most part, the world government or their world doesn't really have access to in full, and Elbaf is one of them. And a lot of people would say, like Vivi said, she's heard that giants existed, but she's never seen one in real life. Giants are still like a fairly like low-key race. They're not like everywhere. People don't happen to see giants all the fucking time, but they're out there. And people don't just travel to Elbaf, like, if ever. The only people who go to Elbaf are the people who come from Elbaf and like decide that they don't want to be a part of the Norse mythology culture of warrior tribes, and they're just like, I kind of want to be a normal person, a giant, but normal.
What I do want to talk about when it comes to the Giants, though, is how they have fucking magic.
Yeah. You mean their swords?
Their weapons in general just shoot out Goku beams. And it kind of like throws me back to like earlier when we talked about how like they like, you know, they prefer their own personal strength. But I'm starting to think like, isn't like the rules of magic taking energy from somewhere else and then using it elsewhere?
But listen, just like Mihawk gained superhuman strength somehow, you would want to believe that these goons and their giant culture would somehow figure out a way to become strong without devil fruit powers.
And I would say one thing that you're probably going to notice quickly is that people in the One Piece world will slowly but surely start to develop almost like projectile attacks, even though they are a swordsmith or like a swordsman of sorts. And similarly to Dory and Bragi, at the end of the day, like what they displayed was like a giant projectile attack. Now, how they were able to manifest that giant projectile attack is not really known to the audience at this point, but it is pure definitely rage. Like pure rage, right? It is not uncommon for weapons to seemingly shoot a giant attack from a distance with the swing of any particular weapon. That's pretty normal in the One Piece world, to be completely honest.
I mean, we already seen it once with Mihawk with his giant ass sword cutting like a boat in like 70 pieces.
Exactamundo.
Well, like I wasn't surprised, but like it was just like one of those like things where I was like, oh great, now they gave the Vikings magic. Like
now they gave the Vikings magic.
Like they already were really terrifying as is. Now we're giving them ranged attacks. OP, please nerf League.
This is Olaf. He's channeling the energy of the gods on his Q or whatever.
Oh my god. Oh god. No, the only other thing like dealing with like the what's it called? The Little Garden arc that bothered me was literally the fire for the wax. Like when Usopp like sets on the oiled like rope to catch on fire to like melt the entire cake. Seeing how big the blast was, or not the blast, but just seeing how big the flames were. Like I'm starting to think like, okay, I get it, it's there to melt the wax, but my brain was also thinking like, that could have melted their organs by the size of that flame. Like, they should be dead. Like, Zoro should be dead from being set on fire.
Lungs, like, is not meant to, like, honestly be inside fire like that. And Zoro, like, sat in there for a good hot second, too, before he, like, showed up either. Because Nami and Vivi came out immediately to help Usopp with the Kilo bitch. But then, like, Usopp, like, kind of, you know, face tanks the blow-up guy for a few, and then he's like, well, now you've truly fucked up. I'm gonna kill you now, son. And this is probably, like, 3 minutes in, and then Zoro's like, all right, now's my moment, boys. He comes out with this flaming sword attack, and even the comments on it saying, nah, dude.
Flaming onigiri.
Well, he says flaming onigiri, but after he does that, he was like,
you know, these flaming swords aren't too bad.
I was like, no, Zoro, this is bad for your health. Stop it.
But other than that, there's also, I wanted to rant about Mr. Zero.
Okay.
For a man who is supposedly so strict on being secure with, like, his identity and, like, just finding anything else out, the fact that this dude had no code words for opening the phone, no, like, hidden passwords of dialogue, he's just like, hey, yo, other person on the other side of the line, you should, like, do what I say, and then not think about it at all and trust whoever answers. Like, I could have had a toddler answer that phone, and he'd probably been like, yep, that's Mr. 3.
Yeah, that's kind of my problem with this episode too. Is I definitely remember it playing out a little differently because that bit comes back again. I'm pretty sure, where Sanji like picks up the phone or something like that with like a villain of some particular caliber and pretends to be a goon or something like that. And the fact that Crocodile was just immediately like, okay, yeah, you're clearly Mr. 3, and didn't like recognize or like was unable to determine that was not Mr. 3's voice from the get-go. They don't sound that alike. I'm just saying.
Like, I'm sitting there questioning how, like, smart the dude actually is. Like, how did he get this big if he's this dumb and not secure with any of his information? Like, apparently everyone knows who he is. What's the point?
Well, no one knows who he is. The only people who know who he is are Vivi and the rest of the Straw Hats because they've talked about it, obviously. But
I don't know. It's just one of those things that's like bothering me. It's like when your whole dig is supposed to be about fucking being like espionage and like secret, and you don't even question who's on the other line or who picks up the phone.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. There should absolutely be like some kind of like code word or something like that to like verify that the person on the other end is like actually who he says he is.
Right.
Don't look at me, man. The easy answer is because the writer was like, I need to give Sanji a reason to get more exposition for us.
Well, honestly, that's really what it felt like. Was like, here's an exposition like plot to explain why Sanji hasn't been doing shit for the past 8 episodes.
Yo, yeah, but just saying, when he answers the phone though, what a G. As soon as he picked it up, I don't know what he said in like the sub, but he was like,
yeah, hello, you've reached the Crap Cafe. Can I take your order?
As soon as he said that, Mr. Zero was like, all right, cut the stupid shit. All right, so did you complete the mission or not? And then he's like, mission? Yeah, of course. It's all done. What was that again? Or whatever the fuck happened.
No, but what made that scene even more crazy was the fight that happened where he fucking iced the bird and possibly killed the like ferret thing or otter. I'm just, when I heard that crack of the neck, I was like, ooh, he did.
Yeah, I actually completely forgot about the bird. I don't remember if the bird comes back, my guy. I think
his neck was backwards.
I want to say that bird be dead. Maybe not. Maybe he comes back a little bit later. But
I could see the otter being alive because we've always seen like, you know, characters get punched and nothing bad happens to them. But like this bird, his neck got 360'd. Like, and you heard it pop. Like, I was surprised that they showed that. Like I know, like in like a lot of like anime, especially like, you know, shonens, they don't necessarily show like the actual killing. Like they'll like do it like in some artistic way to show that he's dead. But like they full blown just showed him snap this motherfucker's neck.
The only reason it was shown was because it's not a human, it's a fucking bird. So they were like, dude, bet, and just showed you snapping this motherfucker's neck.
What I'm curious about is how many kids went home that day and just like grabbed a goose by the neck and just yanked that shit.
Dude,
Like,
let's look it up together. Let's go look. 2000 Japan. How many bird deaths?
no.
It's not. They did show that neck getting snapped real hard. It was zoomed in, and then they zoomed out, and then Sanji twists his legs, and then it goes.
It was pretty loud.
It was big oof, buddy. I want to say that bird comes back, though. My guess is that it'll come back.
No. If he comes back, I'm going to question science in this world.
They do show them repeatedly killing other animals like nothing.
Yeah, no, they kill the fuck out of animals.
So for them to kill these two goons wouldn't be really that out of it.
Don't even get me started on those dinosaurs at the end of the episode where they literally just like chop it in like 3 sections, and there's literally just like apparently dinosaurs are itty bitty bones with nothing but meat on the inside. They're not even hollow.
That's what Christian and I were talking about 2 episodes ago, I think. Where
Yeah, don't worry about it.
all dinosaurs are just made of mutton, apparently.
But speaking of like killing people, what I'm really curious about is, did Karu like kill that little 8-year-old girl?
Did Karu kill the 8-year-old girl?
He's talking about Golden Week.
Oh,
Because like we don't see what happens to her after the Karu chases after her. We just see she's like slowly like, I'm gonna sneak off over here, and Karu's like kill mode, and I'm like, holy shit! Did they just kill an 8-year-old? Like, I get it, she's evil, I guess, but like she's 8.
No, they were left to their own devices, knocked out somewhere.
I would say that any of them ended up dying. I think they're all fine. Now, Mr. 2, though, is technically en route to catch up to 3 and in turn massacre the man. And while we're here on Mr. 2, he's one of my favorite motherfuckers, the Bon Clay.
See, I only know him as Don Gray. Yeah. Because of someone.
Well, I named him Don Gray in the time. Yeah, what was that? That was my my shitty...
Your first D&D character with John Maya's campaign.
Yeah. Our first D&D game was, I made essentially Bon Clay. I renamed him, but I was him. I did the whole, I spun around in a as a ballerina and counted in fucking French un deux trois the whole fucking time.
So like it was funny because I remember seeing the photo of this character when you showed me, like, oh yeah, this is what he looks like, and like I remember seeing like him like from the back shot, and I was like, he's arrived.
The legend is here. The man himself.
I thought he was going to be like way later on. I didn't know he was going to come so soon.
No, he's actually a relatively early character. Relatively. I say relatively because, like, comparatively, fucking 900 plus episodes and all.
That's fair, yeah.
That's a killer name. Bon Clay?
Bon Clay, dude, which I was talking with Civi about this. It's too bad he's not here. Apparently Bon Clay, I believe, just means, like, the man or, like, good luck to Clay or something like that. So like his real name is Clay, and then Bon Clay is just being like good fortune to Clay or something like that. Or he's like the best of the Clays.
Didn't you take French?
Yeah, but Bon doesn't mean whatever he told me at the time. And it means like good fortune or like being the best of something. Bon is just kind of like good. It just means good. That's all it is.
Okay, so moving forward a bit here, after they leave the goons, we see Zoro doing something. We see him working out.
Oh my god, I had so many Berserk vibes from that, seeing him work out with those weights. Because I don't know where to even start with that. That was just...
They were hinting that he was working out with 100 kilogram weights, and then they showed 5 of them.
Yes, sir. He was swinging 100 kilograms, and they kind of like zoomed out a little bit, like, wait a minute, is that 2 plates on that son bitch? And then they zoom out all the way, and you're like, oh.
Well, like for me, it's like because like, and so like I hate to keep comparing to Berserk, but like in Berserk, like they do a similar kind of like thing for training for his sword, where he ties logs to his massive great sword as he's practicing with that. And that's how the main character in Berserk gets stronger and stronger at a certain point. That's where he gets his mass from, and so like. Just seeing them do this big ass meme of here's this noodly looking boy with these 1 billion pound weights which mind you, where are they storing them? Who knows?
They're somewhere.
It's Looney Tunes land. Let's just ignore the plot of but goddamn, is it over exaggerated?
I mean, it's exaggerated, but at the same time, you're really started to get hints of his obsession to gaining strength.
No, yeah, I totally get that. Like, but like just like from my experience of what I've watched and comparing it to this, I'm just seeing like I see the exact same scene, but it's a parody in my head. That's how I saw it.
But what came out first? Maybe Berserk's the parody here.
No, Berserk came out first.
When?
I'm pretty sure it came out in like '86.
Shit, that's a long time ago.
Yeah, well, I was gonna ride that one. I know Berserk's pretty old. The Berserk guy doesn't release chapters nearly as often as Oda because he just doesn't keep to like any schedule at all.
There was an 8-year gap between chapters once.
Idolmaster, no, don't. I want to look at my favorite anime or my favorite manga.
I want to see what happens to my character.
Yo, to be fair though, some of the idol characters are pretty good.
Well, the funny thing is that his art style slightly changed and it was eerily reminiscent of Idolmaster, like drawing style after his big binge. So it's kind of funny. That's where everyone made the jokes about it. But anyways, that's a Berserk discussion. Let's get away from. We're doing One Piece here.
All right, so another thing here. Nami's apparently a weather talker, weather whisperer.
She's a weather savant.
Yeah, she knows the weather like the back of her hand.
She listens to the weather's speech.
That's right.
I am the Lorax. I speak for the wind.
Hey, this is why no one other than Nami can be out here trying to tell the ship which way to go, all right? That's what I'm saying.
I feel like that was just a bullshit power arc that she just got. Like, out of nowhere.
What do you mean? It didn't come out of nowhere.
That's not true.
It came out of fucking nowhere.
What? You don't remember the Logtown?
Or when she was first introduced, and then she was like, yeah, you guys might want to leave over there because that headwind's saying that there's going to be a huge storm coming, and then, like, the stupid dinghy gets hit with a giant storm, and she was fucking fine.
They've been dropping hints this whole time, dude.
I don't know.
Literally, any time they get on the ship, or she gets on a boat of any kind, the first thing she does is, like, scan, like, the horizon for, like, the weather and stuff, and then make a note on whether or not she thinks, like, something cray-cray is going to happen. Pretty much every single time.
But we also have the experience of saying that all her knowledge went out the window when they got to the Grand Line. So, like, seeing her master the Grand Line's weather like that is a little absurd.
She gets, what's it called, hints, and she just drawn conclusions off those hints. She's like, she doesn't know what's going to happen.
That's what I mean. That's why she's a savant all of a sudden. Like, she's just a master of this out of fucking nowhere.
I mean, you say master, but she just made a very good guess about a very hard to discover.
I'd probably say it's more like an instinct. She doesn't know what's going to happen in that general area, but she knows nothing good is going to happen there.
She was able to use her already determined skill to at least make note of the fact that the wind was making a very weird, potentially insignificant to most, but she was like, I've already learned that an insignificant change can become very significant very quickly. So that was when she clearly made her decision, like, all right, no, we're doing this shit. Then literally all of them are like, sitting around like, Nami, just go like sit down. And she's like, fucking do what I tell you already. And then they all finally start fucking moving. Because they're probably all thinking to themselves, like, Devin is like, she's just like extremely sick right now.
They let Zoro handle that thing for like 2 minutes and he immediately let it go to nothing.
What did he say? Like, she comes out, she was like, dude, why are we already off course? He's like, no, we're not off course. We're going fucking straight.
Following the cloud.
I'm following this cloud. Motherfucker. Following the cloud. Yo, with that kind of logic, though, he's right. To be completely fair. Like, if he was following the cloud, that's fair game right there. He was following that cloud.
No.
All right. But what about this new guy? This new guy they introduced, Wapol.
Munch?
Wapol? Yeah, the Munch Man.
Talk about throwaway characters, like figuratively and literally. Like,
damn, they did throw him away, didn't they?
They did throw him away.
They blasted him Team Rocket style. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I'm starting to think, like, oh shit, we're about to see some new villain. Bop. And I'm like, well, what's the point of Devil Fruit in this universe?
Of the 2 seconds you've seen him, what are your thoughts about this man?
Have the 2 seconds.
He's thick as fuck.
He's thick.
Oh, he's eating everything. He's literally eating a ship.
My initial response was like, I was like, okay, cool, new Devil Fruit, user. We're gonna see some awesome fights. No, like immediately just blasted, and I'm just like, my whole initial thought of like this whole like little scene happening was like, was this like a filler episode in the manga that everyone knew was just a waste of fucking time, and they decided just to get past it because it was just some dumb boss of the week in the manga or something like that? Like, I'm like, why? What is the point of this character if he's just literally within 5 minutes just going to get blasted off again?
I want to point out that this man called the fucking Bragi and Dory like being a fight because they were bickering over like whose hunt was better, and this man is honestly thinking that Wapple's an immediate throwaway after they spent an entire episode painting him up.
No, they didn't. They literally threw him away. He got tossed so hard he made Mr. 5 look like he had a whole saga.
I guess that's fair. That is fair. He does make Mr. 5 look like he got a whole fucking like, redemption arc, didn't he?
He did. Like, this dude literally was like, I'm gonna eat your boat, I'm gonna chew on you twice, and then Team Rocket blasting off again. That's essentially what I like processed from this episode, and also the quotes for the week. But like, it was I remember just watching it, going like, is this canon?
Yes, it's canon. I can promise you.
So moving on a bit here, apparently Nami's sick. Vivi's like, this kind of happens a lot to people. It just kind of sneaks up on people, and it sometimes kills like even the strongest of pirates. And then every one of the other goons is like, oh yeah, what's being sick like? We've never been sick.
Right? I've never been sick, actually.
I almost wrote that down as a quote of the week, where it's like, you guys have never been sick? Oh no! I just like how like their whole reaction of everything is like, the moment where like they're like, oh, just feed her a bunch of meat, to, oh my god, she's dying, and they're just panicking. And then like the fact where she's like,
is there anyone aboard this ship with even the slightest amount of medical experience?
and they slowly all point at her.
Usopp's like, I'm the discount fucking shipwright of this crew. Nami or you are easily going to be the discount doctors. No one else is qualified for these things.
But it's nice to know that the only way these goons ever get mildly sick is when they're hungry or tired.
or mortally wounded.
that's part of being tired to them.
I mean, to be fair, that's when your body's immune system is at its weakest, right? When you're tired and exhausted and
exactly. That's why their solutions are sleep or eat more.
Yeah, I mean Luffy will I'm pretty sure sleep for an entire week and then be like, I am hungry now.
I do want to make fun of Sanji though for being the ultimate cook. He's like, I only know how to make specific meals for specific sicknesses. It's like, dude, just make chicken noodle soup. That shit fixes everything.
Right, but he also said that she has no appetite. She's not going to be able to hold any food down.
Well, yeah, I know, I get that. But it was just one of those moments where I was like, it's not that hard to make food for sick people.
No, I think he even said that he could make some soup, but he's not a doctor. She needs a real physician to diagnose whatever the fuck she's ailing from.
There is a bit in there where Sanji goes,
I put 100 times more care into preparing her meals than I do for you losers. I serve Nami fresh meats and vegetables to ensure a balanced diet. Anything that's rotten or moldy goes to you. Jerk!
Oh well, still tastes good to me.
The amount of jokes that were just dropped these episodes was just
They start picking up more on quips, and now that the characters are actually being introduced, they're playing off each other.
Now that you could see that they're they're entrenched as characters to each other. It's interesting seeing them interact with each other.
It's now that they have an identity, all of them, they all have a role and they clearly have personality. This is kind of what I was saying in the earlier episodes, where it's you're only going to get out of the series what you put into it, and if you care about the characters, episodes like this are going to be a blast. But if you don't care about the characters, then episodes like this are going to be really fucking boring and they're going to take forever, and you're going to be all right, just get to the part where they punch each other again or something like that. And that's kind of what I like these episodes on par, if not more than some of the hypest parts of the series.
Well, the thing is though, is like comparing the beginning of the show to the characters as they are now, like when you first meet some of these characters, it's really hard to give a shit about them. Sanji and Usopp, we all heard it, or my rants and everything. It was hard to get into it, but these characters now, I still think they're dumb. But because I just treat them as just joke characters and not the serious characters, it I don't know, it's adds the charm to the slapstick humor of the show, and that's really what they are. They have their own goals and aspirations, and they're not as grand, in my opinion, as comparison to the more serious characters. it's just interesting seeing them interact with like the gags, and then like seeing them drag the fucking serious characters into Looney Town. It's just even funnier. Like seeing Zorro last episode going like, "Oh, you better hold the pose." Like I'm just sitting there thinking like, "Oh no, the dumb is spreading."
I'm surprised.
Zorro was on Team Dumb from the get, though. I don't know.
That's
dude.
true. That's true. He's just more low key about it because he says less.
Yeah, he says more epic lines than he does dumb lines, and now he's edging into let's be as dumb as possible land.
No, he is the embodiment of like Iroh from Avatar: Last Airbender. When the going gets rough, he's got the best one-liners on hand. But when like everything's chill and he doesn't need to worry, he's just saying the most random shit to get the most laughs that he can.
Yep. But more on the One Piece thing. You're starting to fall into the One Piece charm that people usually get into.
No, I agree, but it's just like it's the I don't know how to explain it. I don't know if it was like just the art style difference or like just how the pacing of the episodes. Because again, if we were to go back, like the pacing was really bad before. The pacing now is fairly decent.
What Jordy's trying to say is that he wants to redo all of the episodes that we've done so far so that you can get a chance to really appreciate them.
No. I will not watch Don Krieg again. I will not watch
You won't watch Don
Sanji
Krieg for the third time, but we won't get to see Pearl, your favorite character.
Kill me.
I forgot about Pearl.
Kill me. Give me the rope. I'll fucking do it myself.
All right. We're going a bit long here. Any other thoughts, questions, concerns?
I think I actually heard a page turn in the background. Was that your notes, Devin?
Yeah, that's him.
Yeah, I'm looking at my notes real quick just to be sure. I'm sorry that I'm, old style where I like to write things down.
I mean, you're great. No, it's great.
Okay, Grandpa.
All right, well, while we're waiting, I want to point out, this isn't like a quote or anything of mine, but speaking of gags, I did really appreciated that bit with Sanji where after they started getting boarded by the goons or whatever, and, like the ship's starting to shake and everyone's like, what the fuck are these people? And then Sanji's literally like holding Nami's bed like perfectly level while the ship is moving. Like you see everything moving around you, but the bed stays perfectly level the whole time. And then like as soon as like the gunshots are being fired, he's like, all right, what's going on out there? Vivi, watch Nami. He goes outside, and what a fucking badass. He just stares at his face, and he's like, all right, I'm gonna light this cig.
So, what's going on?
Well, we're under attack, and it's still snowing.
Well, yeah. The guns pointing at my face kind of gave that one away.
What I liked about that scene is like at first it's like his reaction is pure hysteria of like running upstairs to figure out what's happening to automatically becoming the cool guy, start smoking.
The cool guy.
Like, I'm so chill, like this doesn't bother me at all. And I was like, yo, what?
It's very funny because he's like, God, here we go again.
Here we go again. Groundhog Day it is.
No, the only other note I have is Miss Karen, as I like to call her, gets bopped in like 2 seconds. Also vanishes off screen. Like seeing number 5 get iced by Zoro, like that made sense. It was, like we see the end, like definitely killed him, totally dead. But everyone else, it's like very loosely killed off because you never see them do anything with the bodies.
I would always be wary to assume that anyone gets killed off. The Straw Hats don't really kill people very often. I don't think they've killed a damn single person, to be honest.
Oh, that's not true. We just watched him ice a bird.
Okay, Sanji might have killed that bird. That I'm willing to give you. But that is a bird, my man. That is not a person.
I mean, are fish people not people in this universe?
Oh my god, I'm a racist. You're right. Shit. God damn.
Where's the line? Where does the line, and how do we know if we've crossed it?
I believe non-sentient animals don't count.
But they were sentient. He fucking operated a machine gun on his back.
Those are trained animals.
Trained? Dude, they had personality.
No, they didn't.
Dude was fighting with clams with razor blades in it.
Yeah, trained. That's training.
Name the next pet that you know that can fight like that.
Karu.
Karu.
But yep, I guess. Oh yeah, by the way, Karu, I guess, is not sentient. He's
true.
just an animal who's trained well.
It's true. You don't know he dies.
Oh shit!
I would call Kadu a sentient creature. Just so we're on that topic. So therefore, by extension, I would probably call both of them sentient creatures.
But okay, moving back to the Sanji bit with the bed, he goes, "Vivi, watch Nami," and then Vivi goes, "Karu, watch Nami."
Oh my god, these fucking I feel like that was one of the first moments. I like to believe that people who hang out with the Straw Hat crew for too long slowly start to exhibit more and more symptoms of their fucking dumb fuckery.
I'm telling you, the dumb is a disease that's spreading to each other, and it all stems from the source of Luffy.
They actively show it because Vivi's constantly going, "It's all my fault. I'm sorry, you guys." And they go, "Hey, enough of that. Eat some crackers."
Eat some fucking crackers. Don't be such a fucking pouty bitch.
Oh my god.
Don't be a downer, all right? We're trying to have a good time.
We're trying to enjoy ourselves, dude. Like, come on.
We're gonna save your kingdom.
I think overall, here's the conspiracy theory: the longer they spend time with Luffy, the dumber they get. So, like, for example, we see Zoro and Luffy. Zoro's this like edgy guy in the beginning who's like, "No, I'm not going to eat food because reasons." And then next, like we get to the Usopp's or not Usopp, Nami section, and like we're starting to get a little bit dumber. And then we, adding another character, we're getting even more dumber. And like the more characters and the longer the time that Luffy spends, mind you, Zoro's been there the longest. And who's been the goon that's been acting out the most the entire time? Fucking Zoro. He's the one dropping the most memes lately in comparison to everyone else when it comes to deadpan humor.
That's a very astute observation of you.
Very astute. Yes.
I'm pretty sure Luffy has two devil fruit powers: the gum fruit and the dum fruit.
Okay.
You're not the first person to make that joke, the dum fruit, but god damn it, that was a good lead up. I'm about it. I'm proud of you. That's good use of the meme. Good use.
That was a good swing. It was a really good swing there.
And a home run.
That is a home run.
I don't know about home run.
I'd call it a home run. It ain't like a grand slam, but that's a home run.
You're in the outfield.
You're in the outfield. You at least got a double base hit with that one. How about that?
But other than that, no, I got nothing else. I just got my quotes.
Well, yeah, that's pretty much all I have.
Yeah, that's all I got.
Let's start with these memorable quotes.
I would like to start. So, we'll start it off with. I have to get this one out. This one's super quick. This is clearly another fucking random ass dub one-liner that they just threw away. So, fun fact about the dub: they made Mr. Five have a bit of a like generic black guy talking voice like this or whatever. Like,
oof, they went hardcore with it.
When Kadu's wrapping himself around the cake, he's pointing his gun at him, and it's super fast. You hear this man point the gun and miss Kadu, and he was like,
"Damn it! Hold still, you quacker!"
You're shitting me.
I'm not.
You're shitting me.
I'm not.
Dub, chill, bro. Dub, what the hell?
Yeah, the dub. It was a different time, all right.
Dub, come on.
The year was 2001.
I couldn't let that slide. I couldn't. There was no way I was gonna let that one go. All right.
No.
I'm gonna open up a different segment here. We're gonna call this "Things That Did Not Age Well."
Things that did not age well. Big ooh.
Mr. Five dub is one.
Mr. Five dub is definitely one, guaranteed. Absolutely.
Oh my god. Another reason exhibit of why the sub is better than the dub.
Get the fuck out of here. It was a fucking hilarious line. Get out of here.
All right. Next quote, please.
All right. My next one is when they are inside the golden or the goldfish or whatever, and they just keep going straight. And Nami's like saying like, "We gotta do fucking something here," and then Luffy and I don't know if this is uncharacteristic, but literally he just like turns out and he was like,
Now calm down. Here, I'll let you have the last rice cracker. I don't want a cracker!
And it's funny because while everybody's crying, she's crying, but she's also munching on the cracker.
Yeah, she starts eating it like, this is the last thing I'm ever gonna eat.
That's great.
So my first one is a serious one. It's when Usopp uses the Tabasco star instead of the Boom Star. And it was honestly, I liked it because of just how serious and like it was like clever for his character because it's like, so sorry, I'm a liar, you see. Because, you know, we all know he announces his attacks every single time he does it. So seeing him, like, be quick-witted with him being an asshole and lying all the time, just seeing them switch it with the Tabasco star instead of the Boom Star or whatever it's called, like, I just, it hit so nice, especially seeing him snarkily being like, I'm a liar, you see. Like,
it's a half-fourth wall break because he goes, I'm going to shout my name to move. And just kidding. I lied to you.
I lied to you, and you fell for it. Idiot.
And then I have a meme one, which is Wapple's crew. As they're sailing away to go get him, they say, please remember us, please. And it hit so weird just seeing, like, because, like, the whole, like, that whole fight was just so fucking bonkers of just, let's get rid of this whole story, like, really quickly, and then all of a sudden it's like, please remember us, and I'm like, no, I'm not going to, you're dumb.
You're dumb, I don't like you.
Yeah, the filler characters, get them out of here.
Get these filler characters out of my face.
Okay, but this golden ham.
I have to give it to Sanji, he's a cold-blooded killer.
Oh, sorry, did you like my reenactment of the sound the neck made when it broke?
And give it to Sanji for the broken neck.
Dude had no chill, just completely iced that bird without a second thought.
I mean, I'm honestly willing to give it to my boy Sanji, because he did have some of the funniest beams for these last couple episodes. He came back in strong. Between
Second
the bed
runner-up,
thing,
the bird Karu killing the 8-year-old. That's my other option. So I'm choosing between two cold-blooded killers.
Yeah, I had a hard time deciding who to give the golden ham to, but after looking back a bit, Sanji really did do a lot.
Mm-hmm. I would agree. Actually, Sanji was pretty prominent. He had some good bits. A lot of
kind of had to, considering how absent he was in the last 6 episodes.
Very absent.
The only other one I would consider is maybe Usopp, but after Little Garden ended, he was there. He wasn't the focus, but he was there.
He fixed the boat.
He fixed the boat.
That's true. But yeah, I feel like Sanji is a good bet here.
I feel like Sanji. I'm feeling Sanji.
Sanji's getting a lot of these, by the way. I feel like this is the third time we've given it to him.
No, we've given it to Zoro more, I think.
No, Zoro's only gotten at least once or twice.
Really?
Zoro's gotten a lot of quotes. I will give Zoro the quotes.
Yeah, he's like the quote lord, while like Sanji's like the action lord as of recently.
At some point, I would like to go over the Golden Ham Kings.
Well, so here's my the reason why I think that we're giving like why we don't give Zoro more than what he does is because almost everything he does is too cool. Like he's the cool character. So like I feel like because of his nature as being the cool character, we're looking for the underdogs subconsciously. And like looking for like those really crazy like different character moments, and that's why I think Sanji's been getting the picks
I will
lately.
say the last episode would have been an absolute Zoro stomp fest if I didn't want to give Dory and Bragi an opportunity to be the kings of the week, because that was the only chance we were gonna have.
Him as a whole, he owned those like the center light of those episodes, while Sanji really took the center light of these episodes. Like it's really what he did.
All right, we're out of here.
Thank you for listening to us at One Piece with a Lime.
Follow us at Panda Sightings. Woohoo.
Yeah, follow us on Twitter at Panda Sightings. Tell us why we're wrong. Tell us why we're right. Don't really care. You probably don't even know it exists. Bye. Love you.
Love you too.